Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? So, this is a lot of energy tonight, isn't it? I don't know if anybody else out there is feeling it, but this full super moon in Virgo at 0 degrees has got me a little wonked out. So, tonight I want to talk a little bit about the energy, and I want to talk a little bit about the astrology and some things that are going on. Just so you guys know, I read astrology, but that's just one part of what I do. I actually read energetically and intuitively. So mostly I kind of just feel the energy of the universe and of the world. And then I do these readings, based on what I'm feeling the energy is. And then I always consult my own astrology chart because I feel like that is really our roadmap and to this lifetime, and everything that we seek and all the answers we need really are in that key. So I kind of use a little bit of both. They're different portals for me. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes and see, who's coming on tonight so that we don't miss any information. I hope you guys are enjoying these Tuesday Night Live videos. Hi, Judy. I hope you are all enjoying these Tuesday videos. I love doing them. I love interacting with you guys, and I just think it's so important for us to have a community where we can come and really talk about the energy and what's going on. So we've got this super full moon in Virgo tonight. What does it mean when it's a super moon? Well, mostly that just means that it is the closest to Earth that it can be. And this actually, super moon tonight, is the closest one that we have this year for 2019. So in that regard, this energy is the most powerful full moon energy that we have. And it makes a lot of sense to me that it's coming on the heels of a lot of planetary egresses, with Chiron going into Aries, which actually happened yesterday, and with Uranus gearing up to go into Taurus. Huge life-altering stuff going on. So let's get started. I'm going to do some tarot and pull some cards, but like I said, first I want to talk about this energy a little bit. I really am very, these are the cards I have here, I'm really... I can't stress enough how important the planet Chiron is. And I want to talk about that a little bit because sometimes it gets overlooked in the zodiac by certain astrologers. And I think Chiron is a really important planet to know where it is in your chart, because Chiron, it has the label of being the wounded healer. And the reason for that, it's really a bridge between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn being the place where we repress a lot of our emotions and the traumatic things that happen to us. And Uranus being the planet that brings them out, like sudden lightning. And that's usually when things happen in our lives that are completely unexpected, and we think it's the worst thing that can ever happen to us, but it turns out to be the best thing. That's usually Chiron, because what it's doing is it's bringing the energy from Saturn through to Uranus. It's that bridge. It's also referred to sometimes, but not very often, as a maverick. And the reason for that is usually after a Chiron transit, you will feel completely different than the way that you felt when it first came into your sign. It makes you the maverick. It makes you someone who is the best version of you. And that's really what it's going to do for all of us in Aries. When Chiron was in Pisces, it was a very watery, very emotional energy for us the last 7 years. It's going to stay in Aries 8 years, where it moved to yesterday. Very different energies. This planet in Pisces makes us watery, makes us emotional. This was all the spiritual energy that you felt over the last 7 years. Hi, John. It was all of the wounds that came out, and we were looking to others to heal them. It was us having to forgive something in our life and work through inner child energy. Well, that's what the planet Chiron does. But in Aries, the energy of doing that is going to be completely different. In Aries, we want to take action. In Aries, it's no longer that we're looking for the wound to be healed by the other, and we're grasping for things, and we're hurt, and we're trying to understand, and we're not really doing that, and we're in this journey, and we're foggy, and we don't know what we're supposed to be doing. In Chiron, the wounds get healed through our own confidence. This is about us in Aries, because when Chiron goes into Aries, the Aries energy is the I am. Aries, if anyone knows Aries or has Aries in their chart, it's all about them. It's very much an inner job. It's coming into confidence and no longer apologizing for the person that you are. It's truly being you. So in that regard, we're kind of going from a victim mentality over the last 7 years for a lot of us that we had to work through and get out of, to now a powerful mentality of that Aries energy coming in for the wounded healer. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring completely new times for us. There's a new time, it's new you, it's seeing ourselves very differently, and also loving ourselves very differently than we started out a decade ago. I myself can tell you that what I've been through in the last 7 years has absolutely been amazing. Amazing good and amazing bad. It's been extreme. And where Chiron was in my chart really played a lot of things out. And what Chiron oftentimes will come in and do, especially when it's making transits to Uranus, which it is right now, because now Chiron and Uranus are the same sign. They'll be that way for a few weeks, couple weeks. But when it does that, what it likes to do is sudden, irreversible things will happen. And in my life, that certainly happened. And after, having a life where I had tremendous amount of people around me and a big family, I, through a lot of tragedy and a lot of change, ended up absolutely and completely and utterly alone, where there was, nobody to even call, and in very deep tragedy, and grief. So I've gone from that to who I am now, living my life completely in joy, in abundance, in gratitude. And that was the transit of the last 7 years that Chiron did for me. It dredged up every wound I've had in order for it to be healed. And when we can step into that gratitude for that lesson is when we truly can heal the wounds. So Chiron and Aries, it's asking us, and this is the question, and I'll get to cards, I know you all want cards. Chiron and Aries is asking us a big question. And that question is, can you summon the strength and the courage to be who you really are meant to be? Can you summon the courage to love yourself the way you're really supposed to love yourself? And can you summon the courage to be who you are? And I know all of you out there are going, yes, of course, I love myself. Yeah, but that's your ego talking. Your ego will respond yes very quickly to that question, because we all say, oh, I love myself, I'm good. I learned this. This is 7 years in Chiron and Pisces. But what Aries is going to ask of us is to live a life that demonstrates that. And that's a big difference. We can know that we love ourselves intellectually. We can know that we have a really pretty good idea of our power intellectually. We can know how we're really supposed to live our life intellectually, egoically. But are we demonstrating that in our everyday life? Are you strong enough to break the patterns that really answer that question in the negative? Are we strong enough to answer that question, can you summon the strength to be who you really are? And answer it yes from our heart and our soul, and demonstrate that every day in our life. That is the big question. And that's basically why I created Zencuda, because Zencuda supports and promotes that. It supports and promotes us merging every single aspect of our life, our mind, crushing our goals in the material world and in the world of whatever we really desire to achieve. Also our bodies and what we do for our 5 senses, and merging that into who we really are. Hi, Elaine. And then the third part of Zencuda is above the 5 senses. Merging your mind, your 5 senses, and the world above the 5 senses, higher than the 5 senses, to truly be powerful and answer that question. Can I truly be who I am meant to be in the affirmative, in every aspect of your body, and merging those? And I really created Zencuda from that energy. And this coming into Aries the next decade is going to be the supportive energy for that mission. We're all being asked to step up and be who we're really meant to be and love ourselves. And our ego will always answer, of course I love myself. Of course I know who I'm meant to be. Of course I'm great. But are we demonstrating that in the lives we live? Or are we falling back into the patterns that say, no, we're recreating the wound? A great example of that is some of us who are in relationships we shouldn't be in, or we're afraid to be alone. And we keep going back to those people or back to the same patterns. And we tell ourselves, oh, I love myself. I have a good feeling about myself. I'm not going to be with anyone who's not worthy of me. But yet we do it. And we do it. And we do it. Well, that's your ego saying, yeah, I know who I am. I'm who I am. But your life is not demonstrating that. And so our heart and our soul has to answer that question in the affirmative. Or maybe you have a habit, smoking or overeating, or, we all have bad habits that we have to break. That's part of the human condition. And your ego tells you every day, and your brain tells you every day, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. Well, Chiron in Aries is going to request us to actually demonstrate that. And that's the energy. And what's going to happen is we're going to become the best version of ourselves. And in the Aries energy, just looking at my board because I have my notes. In the Aries energy, this is regeneration. It's how we love ourselves. And we're going to find out that the way we love ourselves right now is going to be completely different than the way we love ourselves at the end of this 8-year cycle. We've got 7-8 years of really coming into our power, really affirming ourselves as who we were meant to be. The timelines for this next 7-8 years are going to be aligning with our greatest potential. This is no longer the energy of I'm lost, I am seeking, I don't know where to find peace, and I don't know where to find myself. This is now in the timeline gradually through this decade of Chiron in Aries is going to be showing us who we really are and giving us the strength and the power to step into that and forming our own ideas and our own individualization within ourselves so that we do have the courage to step forward and be who we were really meant to be. And I think that is some of the most amazing energy, and we no longer have anything to prove to ourselves in this energy. And that's what the next 7-8 years is going to be about. And I especially think, because Aries is a masculine energy, that this is going to be more prevalent for men. I think in the Chiron in Pisces decade, we healed a lot of maternal, a lot of mother wounds, a lot of feminine issues. You had the Me Too movement recently and a lot of things. And now you're going to see the equality and the polarization of that being in the masculine. You're going to see men coming forward who've been somehow wounded and abused and healing those wounds. You're going to see men demanding certain types of equality, and our masculine side coming out and being strong enough to answer that question we just asked. You know, do you have the strength to truly step into who you're supposed to be and love yourself that way and accept yourself for who you are truly meant to be in your individualization? And that's a very masculine side of us. And in Aries, Chiron in Aries, that's what we're asked to heal, is our masculine side. The confidence, the ambition. You know, ambition is not a dirty word. And a lot of times in the spiritual community, it gets that connotation. And that's why I named the company Zencuda. The life support channel is Zencuda, because we should have a little bit of barracuda in us. We need it to be spiritual warriors. So we should be Zen, and we should be really ambitious and go out and crush our goals. Because isn't that what God wants us to do anyway, is be the best version of ourselves? So that's the energy of Chiron in Aries, and it just went into that sign today, yesterday. So we're going to be dealing with that energy for about 7 years, and this is really asking us to manage our energy and manage it on all areas of our life. And that was the other reason why I gave birth to Zencuda now, because I truly feel that when we merge our mind and our bodies and our spirituality, that we really become powerful. And for a very long time in my life, I separated those things. I didn't tell people I was a psychic intuitive because it held a lot of disparaging and doubt and fear. And I separated it. I would go to work and no one knew what I did, and I would have anxiety because I'm separating myself and, hiding things. That causes us to have anxiety, fear. But when I fully emerged and became who I am and stuck a camera in my face and this is who I am, can't really hide that very much, right? So in integrating all parts of my personality, I'm a butt-kicking businesswoman in my daytime life, and I am a very gifted, intuitive, and spiritual healer and psychic in my nightlife, in my, side hustle, which hopefully will become my main hustle one day. And so I had to envelop those gifts and fully merge them. And that was when Zencuda was born, because we need to use our minds to create our life, to see what our ambitions are and follow through with them. We need our body to be healthy and our 5 senses, because that's where we get our power to live our daily life in. And then we need to go above the 5 senses to find the intuition and the gifts of the keys to our life and the guidance of how we're putting it all together. So Zencuda is really a mission for me of kind of building better humans, and myself included, because I've learned so much along the way. So we're going to get to cards, and I'm just looking at my board. The other difference between Chiron, planet Chiron in Pisces, and now moving into Aries for the next 7 years, is that in Pisces, we were really looking to heal ourselves and heal wounds and heal things, that traumatic experiences we had through the other, looking for apologies, having to work through it to forgive ourselves and the other. In Aries, the energy changes to be really about ourselves, and we go within. And the alignment is very different with the healing. This is healing we do from the inside and realize we don't need the other to heal. We are all powerful and we are in charge of our own emotions and our own feelings. And suddenly those needs that we have from the other to fix things or make them better is diminished. And now we're going within, we're confident, and we have the strength and the ambition to want to heal on our own. And we don't need the other so much. We don't need, I remember years ago hearing a phrase someone said to me, only the person that hurt you can ever make it better. And I remember hearing that and thinking, that doesn't feel right to me. And so inevitably come to realize the only one who can really heal you is yourself, and we have to rise above. Hi Carol, I hope everything's good with you. So we're going to pull some cards because I don't want these videos to run overly long. But if you guys want to comment in the comment field, if you have any questions, I will try to answer and do, get a little energy for you guys. Also, the new moon is today. It was unbelievable because when I was getting ready to do this video, I looked outside and it was really like kind of overcast and I didn't see the moon. And then all of a sudden, the card flew out. And then all of a sudden, when I turned around, the moon was like right in my window. It was almost like Grandmother Moon was saying to me, hey, you're going to be on camera soon. Get your shit together. So, what's this card that fell out here? It is, oh wow, that's very interesting for me. It's the Six of Pentacles, which is abundance, which is actually, we're talking about that. And I just saw that my notes on the board. When I was talking about the full moon in Virgo at 0 degrees, which means that it's all new energy. It's starting a brand new sign. That's regeneration. That's new. Hi, Lori. That's regeneration. That's new. That's really also, it makes us want to share love because we've got Venus in there. Venus is actually in conjunction with Saturn in Capricorn, about 15 degrees. And again, I do astrology for the reason of opening my soul. This is all energies that I believe that are part of us opening our soul, whether it's astrology or reading cards or whatever. I believe we need those divination tools to connect and find out what we're really supposed to be doing. It heightens the intuition. I don't rely on just one modality. Over the years, I've learned to use several modalities because that's how I tune in and open portals and know how to, basically live my life and get the signs. Anyone can do that. It just requires a lot of time in silence and in quiet, connecting, lowering the energy. That being said, what I wanted to bring forth was that, and this is going to sound a little crazy, but those of you who know me know I'm a little offbeat. I spent 3 years in algebra in high school trying to learn algebra, and I never could learn it because it didn't really make sense to me, and I didn't really see the usefulness of it. And that's the other energy that's coming in right now. Things that we don't feel useful, we won't have any interest in. But I spent 3 years in an algebra class, and I never took any of that with me in life. It didn't help me do anything. If they had put me for 3 years and put kids in astrology for 3 years, oh my God, they would have a roadmap and a key to their life. They would be able to function so much more easily in the world. So hi Lori. So, keep cards falling out of the deck today. So keep that in mind, because for those of you who are raising children, I would teach them a little bit of astrology in their lessons and things. I think it's a very huge tool for us, and I think in the years to come, the human species is that's just gonna be like a subject in school because it truly is the roadmap to your life. So let's see what we have in the cards. I keep, like I said, they keep falling out of the deck. This is Queen of Cups, which to me is a very Pisces cards. That makes sense to me that, Chiron is coming out of Pisces right now. So let's do some cards. I'm going to actually try and bring the camera down so that you guys can see the table a little bit. Maybe if I move it back. I'm still learning all this stuff with the cameras and the heebie-jeebie things. Okay. All right. I think that works, actually. That's good. Okay. So you can't see me anymore, but that's okay. You want to see the cards. I know you guys do. They may appear backwards on camera because we have, I'm in selfie mode. So I hope you can still hear me. I'm going to talk a little louder because I know the camera's further away. If you can't hear me, let me know. So these cards flew out, so I'm going to leave them here. So I'm using regular tarot cards this evening, which I do read, but I also always use other decks for clarifiers. So let's see what we got tonight. This is February 19th, 2019. Georgia Rose reading the energy of the universe. And if there's any messages for anyone who's tuning in out there, Spirit, my main guide, Saint Germain, please bring them in. Okay. So we have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is a card of sometimes someone having an energy in their life that is not 100% honest. It's an energy of almost like a thief in the night, you know, so it could be that something has to be revealed. And it's really funny that that card came up because there's other aspects going on astrologically this week that I don't want to get too into the astrology tonight, but there's other aspects going on that for many of us, especially in our partnerships at work, there could be somebody who is kind of not what they appear to be. You know, there's always people who like act one way and then they're not really that way. And I think for somebody out there, there's probably a situation at work where you need to be careful because there's somebody at work who's not sincere. And this next card is the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups means walking away from an emotional situation. And I think that also is really tying in with the astrology because as Chiron leaves Pisces, a lot of us are getting rid of emotions and things are ending. Full moon tonight is definitely an ending energy and new beginnings because it's in 0 degree of Virgo. So this is extreme endings and beginnings. And just know that whatever comes in now as an ending is something that's supposed to end. Because remember, this energy, especially with this major, you know, centaur, planet, Chiron changing signs, this is major energy of regeneration. And it wants us to really start fresh and get rid of the things that we don't want, that are not really serving us in our life. And I want to just talk about that for a minute because in the last video I actually mentioned something about that, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. So now we picked the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is a card that indicates that something is not quite finished. We have a little bit more energy to go before something really reaches its culmination. I like to refer to that card as having like one more battle that you have to do or one more thing that you need to let go of. It could also be something, if you're grieving for someone, it could be that recently you've gotten a little bit backwards and deeper into the grief, like you feel like you're set back a little bit. And that's okay because grieving has a timeline that's different for everyone. And it's also something that will diminish. It never fully goes away. I often say, you know, even like my parents are both passed, and I always say, I will never get over their death. I learn to live around it. And that's really what we do, is we don't know how to, you can't get over certain things in life. You're just going to kind of live around them. I'm going to fix the camera so you can still see me a little bit, because I do feel like that's weird that you can't see me and I'm talking. So I feel like there's someone out there who just needed to hear that and know that even though you might be grieving and you feel like you went deeper into grief instead of the healing, that's just part of the process. Because the cards coming up after that are about rebirth and also balance, which on a full moon always represents balance to me, because we have, you know, the night being lit, and it's asking us to come into our, and excuse me if this makes anyone at home dizzy, it always makes me dizzy when people shift cameras. It kind of is indicative of us coming into balance. And full moons always do that to me, represent balance in some way, because they're beginnings and endings. And I like to think, and what I've come to learn in my life, because there's been so much impermanence, is every beginning is the seed, every ending is the seed of a beginning. And I know that sounds very cliche, and I hate to sound cliche, all those memes or whatever on Facebook, but in this energy in particular, it's never been more true, because we have a lot of Aryan energy coming in and 0 degrees of other signs, and that is rebirth and new energy. So the ending, if you have one right now, is really a beginning of something better. And really, really know that. And the card that's following it is the rebirth card. This card for me, Ace of Cups, is always like a baptism. It's something completely fresh and new energy coming into your life. It is a romantic card for me. Not all tarot people read that way. But for me, it's a romantic card, meaning a new energy, a new relationship coming in. And that's also really indicative to me of the world energy, because it's almost like we're having a new relationship with ourselves. It's almost like we're learning to love ourselves differently. We're seeing ourselves really different. And I think for a lot of us, depending on where all these aspects fall in your chart, a lot of us are doing that. It's like the breakout time. We're finally breaking out. And what I wanted to talk about before was in, you know, learning lessons and endings and beginnings. And what happens sometimes is we have a lesson happening, right? And I'm going to watch this video back and I'm going to be like, Georgia, you should have left the camera alone. That's good. So we have a lot of, there you go, you can see the cards at me. We have a lot of energy that is like endings and beginnings. And a lot of times the ending is very long because we resist it. We have an ending and we keep telling ourselves that it shouldn't be ended and that it's really not right. We keep going back to things and revisiting them and redoing and all that stuff. But in actuality, what's happening is we're resisting the ending of something, and so the beginning can't come in. The good stuff can't come in because we're prolonging the ending of it. A lot of times I feel like that happens because we think the result of the ending is not natural. And we have to get to the point where we understand that it is naturally supposed to happen because Spirit is directing it. And an example of that would be, you know, what I was just talking about before, like maybe we're supposed to be alone for a little while, but we keep resisting it and we keep going back to a relationship because we really don't want to be alone, but we keep telling ourselves, oh, we love the person or whatever it is, when in actuality, the world, the universe, Spirit, whatever you believe in, wants you to be alone so that you can do the healing work you need to do so you're no longer grasping for someone that isn't right for you. But we prolong that because we're more afraid of being alone. And part of that fear comes from the conditioning of society, of our parents, of family of origin, of people around us, because we measure ourselves to their standard. We're not supposed to be alone. We need to be with somebody. Oh, I won't look good if I don't have a partner. And so that's where all that fear comes from. Chiron in Aries flips that over and makes it about really stepping into our own power. We no longer care about the conditioning. We no longer care about the preconceived ideas. Now we're completely living within our own circle, and that's how the next 7 years are going to play out, where we won't resist change as much because we're not going to measure it to other standards. And I think that's especially true in the spiritual world and for light workers or for anyone who does anything. And it gets back again into the message of Zencuda and merging those who we really are and those attributes and not being worried about what someone else thinks of it and therefore separating ourselves. So now we're in our power. We're like, I really don't care what's supposed to be natural. This feels natural to me and I will do it. So that's really the energy. And these cards are kind of coming up that way. And then we have the Knight of Swords upside down. The Knight of Swords is a messenger. And some people also equate him with Archangel Michael sometimes. But the Knight of Swords is bringing a message in. And the fact that he is upside down is really appropriate to me as well. Because most of the time, Knight of Swords brings in for me a message that is like, 911 call. Is like something happened really quick. We need to get help. It's an emergency. And the fact that he's upside down means that it's over. That the worst is done. And now we're going to be coming into a beautiful new time and new energy. And our sleepless nights are over. We've got beautiful messages coming in. With this full moon, I have to say that the psychic energy is extremely heightened right now. Psychic energy is super, super high. Anybody who has never received a message can receive a message. Anybody that really wants to go, just go outside and absorb some of the moonlight. Hi, Linda. I miss you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Please chime in, if you have a comment. So I think that the energy is extremely heightened psychically right now. This full moon is very, very powerful, especially with some of the egresses on the other planets. So if you meditate tonight, if you really want to hear from a lost loved one, if you really want to get an answer to something, before you go to sleep tonight, ask it. Put yourself in Spirit's hands and say, please show me what this is. I often do that as a way to heal or as a way to overcome challenges in my life. A lot of times before I go to sleep, I'll say, Spirit, I'm just very confused. Could you just show me what this is? And I wake up with tremendous clarity. So try that because the energy is so heightened right now. Hi, Elaine. The energy is so heightened right now. Yeah, she says you're right. Heightened energy. So heightened. I was getting signs and messages all day. As a matter of fact, I was in the car driving to work this morning and the energy was so heightened. I was like, Spirit, you got to calm down because I can't work like this. It was like, please calm down. So, and we have the Chariot, which is really, really a great card for the energy tonight with Chiron changing signs, Uranus getting ready to change signs, and just the energy in the world is really coming on to a new age. This card is moving forward. This card is you're no longer idling in the car at the curb. You're hitting the gas pedal. You've made your choices. You're moving forward. You know who you're supposed to be, and you're ready to be that person. And that is an amazing card to come out because that was everything we just talked about for the last 15 minutes. And then we have this card here, which is, looking out into the world. And a lot of people think this card could be grief. It's someone looking out and having regrets, looking out over the universe or the desert and seeing in introspection something he may have missed. But I feel like this card is actually planning. The energy I'm getting off it tonight psychically is that there's a lot of us out there making plans to change our lives, do something, come into things that we haven't done before. And I would say do them. This energy really warrants that, especially for the next 6 weeks with Mercury and Taurus. That is energy of making your plans and putting them in motion. We have a lot of energy that's really pushing us forward. And Ace of Pentacles, meaning that we're going to have the abundance if we do it. So tune into what the universe is telling you. Do not resist it, because if we resist, it will persist. And I think it's time for us to put the car in drive and start moving to our destination. 3 more cards I'm going to pick. And this is the Death card. This is not a scary card for me tonight, psychically, especially since it's right next to the Ace of Pentacles and the Temperance card. This, for me, really, really means that it's the death of our old self. We're looking at ourselves and loving ourselves in a completely different way. This is us really managing our energy to move forward. We're no longer stuck in the wound. We're no longer stuck in guilt and shame. We're moving forward. Linda says, definitely look at the buds on the wands. Yep, exactly. She's talking about this card here. Linda also is a reader. The 3 of Wands, always new beginnings for me. I always read this card that way. And there's a lot of readers who read it as regret. I never saw it that way. I'm with you, Linda. And then this card here is nostalgia, and it is a very sentimental energy. Pisces, with Chiron coming out of Pisces. And the sun went into Pisces yesterday. Pisces is a very sentimental energy, and a lot of times this means that somebody from the past is going to be coming. And what I'll tell you is we still have some residual energy coming from a lot of the planetary egresses, so do not be surprised. I'm getting this psychically as well. Do not be surprised if someone from your very long ago past comes back into your life this week. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could even be a friend, or it could be a partnership. But someone is coming back, and their presence is going to really bring up a lot of the energy that you were working on these last 7 years with Chiron and Pisces. This is like the last push to have it in your face, to awaken it. The only thing that stands between, I'm just getting this now, the only thing that stands between us and mastery is us. We can master anything in our lives, but we ourselves are the ones who stand in the way of that. So if this person comes back from your past, really look at that. And again, are you strong enough to answer the question, am I strong enough to summon the strength to be who I'm really meant to be? Or am I going to fall back into the other energy? That is the question that this person's presence will ask you. And it's really important that you answer that correctly, because that sets the things in motion for a very long time to come. Page of Wands, bringing in some energy also. Page of Wands to me always means that you're going to get some kind of a communication about a new beginning. And that could be that person coming in. And then our last card in this deck, I'm going to use some clarifiers, is the 10 of Pentacles. And this is because we have so much abundance coming to us in this next decade. Especially we have some transits that are going to come in 2020 that are absolutely going to be amazing if you've done your work. If you haven't done your work, they could appear harsh. But I can't even tell you enough how important it is in this energy to step into your purpose and potential. That was the whole reason why I created Zencuda and using Zencuda as a soul support. Because this energy that's coming in for the next decade is when we really come into our own. This is like Age of Aquarius, like nothing can stop me. I know who I am, new time, new me, seeing everything different. And that's how this energy is. So do whatever you have to do so that you are not an obstacle to your mastery, because this energy is mastery. So I'm going to use some cards as my qualifiers tonight. And what I was led to use was the Archangel cards that I have. And for some reason, I'm also very strongly lately, Uriel is coming in. He came in last time and coming in again. I don't know if that's because someone's bringing that energy in for me, but I really feel like Someone out there needs a blessing. I'm feeling it here in my core. I don't know if somebody's having an ailment in their stomach or lower digestion or lower intestines, but I'm feeling really strongly that someone needs healing in that area. I feel like it's somebody who's been to doctors quite a bit, is not finding an answer, and I feel like that's because the answer is not physical. I feel like they are holding energy there that just needs to be worked through, and you can do that yourself simply by, going in a meditation. But I definitely feel, it came in very suddenly for me, like somebody definitely is having some kind of stomach ailment. It could even be someone that one of you know, but I'm really feeling that strong. So know that that's energy that has to be moved, whether it's through Reiki or seeing a shaman or someone, but it's energy. It's not a physical ailment. You are not sick that way. You're having dis-ease from something you're holding and can't get rid of. And I feel like you're angry, or you're like, the energy is very imbalanced. You think it might be Elaine? I feel like the energy is very imbalanced. Yeah, it is you. I just felt that. Yes. Elaine, and I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but the energy that I'm getting, just to let you know, is this is something you need to work through. I'm getting a masculine energy, that this might be something from your past. You're angry kind of about it. You're trying to tell yourself you're not really angry about it. You're okay with it, but you're not. And I feel like this is definitely male authority figure of some kind. This is like, it's almost like the energy is stuck there and needs to pass through. It feels to me like you're just holding it, because it's almost as though, and forgive me for saying this, but it's almost as though you're afraid to let it go, because that means really letting that person or that energy go. I feel like it may even be somebody who's already passed. If their energy is not past, it's very distant from you. And I feel like, I can only equate it with the fact that, and this may apply for other people out there as well, sometimes you love someone so much, maybe it's a parent or a partner, I feel like I'm going to cry, and you don't want to let them go, and they've hurt you, but you don't want to let them go, and the energy is bad for you, but you can't let them go because you love them so much you don't want to be without that. And I know that feeling. And what I can tell you is that love doesn't make us hurt. It doesn't make us wounded. So even if you let go of the pain or what you're holding, the negative, the beauty and the positive feeling, I just saw a light come above me, so this is right. The beauty and the positive feeling that you are feeling will still be there in more of a pure and clarifying nature. So allow that healing to release. I'm actually sending light to you now. I feel it lightening up a little bit. And by all means, this is not an advice not to see a doctor, but I just feel like it's energy stuck. And that can make you really sick. And I feel like you just need healing, and I'm sending you that now, and I hope that that helps you. But yeah, definitely feeling a masculine energy, someone who's passed or very distant from you, that their energy is not in your energy field anymore. You want to hold on to this, because letting it go means you feel like they're gone. They're not. The beauty and the love of them will come forward more if it's not blocked by the negativity. So let that go. I'm also getting, I don't know if it's the same person or not, also getting a loss. Did someone recently have a miscarriage or lose a baby out there? That might be something that I'm getting differently now, but feeling that same type of like, don't want to let go of the energy, because then it means letting go of that child. And I want to assure you that you will not let go of the spiritual energy, but you can let go of the wound. And really important for us to hear that. We don't have to let go of the spiritual energy, but we can let go of the wound. I'm going to say that again. So just take that with you, and let's use this deck for clarifiers. And I always wish everyone peace and love out there. Oh, you're welcome, Elaine. I hope some of that, and I hope I didn't say too much. I never know how far to go on camera, but yeah, I'm sending you white light all around you, honey. You're going to be fine, but I'm sending you white light, white light. And everyone else who's out there, send Elaine some healing, okay? So I'm going to use these as clarifiers, and I for some reason I was just really calling in angelic energy, and for me that's very, very powerful, because I actually started my spirituality and to open with angelic energy, and it was a very trying time for me and challenging time for me in my life, and I felt very alone, and so the angelic energy came in to me, and I never felt alone again. And even now, sometimes if I'm doing something that's challenging, maybe I'm far from home, or I'm on a trip, or I have to appear before a lot of people and I'm nervous, I call in my angels, and they have never let me down, my angels. So tonight I was drawn to them. And these are really beautiful cards. I feel like I'm talking too much, but I think that's Mercury coming in. So the first one we picked is Gaia, and how beautiful is this, the Earth connection. Very symbolic for me of Uranus moving into Taurus in a couple of weeks, because Taurus is all about Earth energy. And that is truly, truly going to be a huge thing for us when that egress happens with the planets, because when it brings in that Taurus earthy energy, it's really going to bring in the energy for us of really grounding and coming into our own spirit and our own energy, and not looking for others to heal us, but to healing ourselves. And I'm going to put that right here with the emotional part of the reading. And then my confirmation, I want to pull a card, Spirit, for the confirmation of rebirth and really coming into our own love and self-love, and changing that self-love to be even more powerful, to come into ambition. So this card is for that. And we've got Diana. Can't make this stuff up. Focused attention. Think about what you desire, set your sights high, and expect the best possible outcome. So this is our card, beautiful Diana, for really, look at the moon over her head. Tonight we have the beautiful full moon in Virgo, and Diana, of course, is the goddess. So this is so beautiful to me, because it really speaks of the love that we have, the power through our own self-love to reach our highest potential and truly become the best versions of ourselves. And that's what Chiron going into Aries is all about, you know, that egress that happened in the last 12 hours. So that card is a beautiful card. And then I'm going to pick 3 of these cards. The last card I want to pick, Spirit, is to confirm for me here, where we have the nostalgia and the sentiment and the abundance, along with the death card, meaning the death of our old selves and learning a new way to love ourselves in a more powerful way. So this card is for that energy. And we have the Miriam, Sacred Vision. How beautiful is that? If that isn't confirmation, I don't know what is. If we can envision it, we can be it. And this is moving forward. This card says, choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. And remember that love has no boundaries. And that gets back to just what I was saying before about we're going to no longer require the forgiveness for another, but give it to ourselves because we deserve it. And forgiveness always comes from ourselves. And also, love has no boundaries. Release the wound, keep the beautiful spirit. So that's what we can do. Hi Donna, I love you. I hope you're coming tomorrow, Thursday. So you can play it back if you want to see the whole thing. I have my beautiful Reiki circle for my cancer survivors group, my breast cancer group on Thursday. And then the other cards, I was really led to pick these cards, and I'm going to clear this spread, okay? Because I was really led to pick these cards tonight. Somebody is going to have a message from these, I really truly believe. The angels are very prevalent. I feel like if anyone's into elementals and fairy energy, if you go outside tonight, you're going to see stuff. I definitely feel that the fairies are out there, but that's always Virgo energy to me. So we're going to use these cards. This is my Angel Power Tarot. These are Doreen Virtue cards. I don't always use Doreen Virtue. Hi, Linda. I don't always use Doreen Virtue a lot, but because I feel oftentimes when I do a regular reading for someone, her cards are very, very positive, which is great. But sometimes they aren't realistic. No offense, Doreen. I think you do wonderful work. But the Doreen Virtue cards sometimes can be a little bit lollipops and rainbow. Hi, Zencuda. Can be lollipops and rainbows a little bit for me. And I understand why that is, because they're mainstream. But sometimes tarot, we need to talk about a challenge in order to heal it, right? We have to bring the energy up. So we need a message from our angels tonight, please. I don't have any crystals. Oh, I have a couple of crystals around me. I almost thought I forgot my crystals. So I've got the 7 of Raphael. These are angel cards, so their tarot is angels. I was led to pick 5 cards, so I'm going to just put 5 cards down. Move them so you guys can see them, even though they're going to be upside down. I like these cards a lot because they're colorful, and I'm reading so much now about color therapy. My soul sister, Kat Mayer, and I may be doing a workshop about that, so stay tuned for that one. Oh, Gabriel is in. I love my Archangel Gabriel. Gabriel comes in a lot for me, and as I was saying, when I first opened, I opened through angels and used angelic energy as a way to read, and a way to read myself and find my own path in life. And one of the most beautiful angels I ever encountered, and I read about him a lot, is Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel is actually the messenger of from God, true messages from God. He was the archangel who came to the Blessed Virgin Mary when she was going to be having Jesus, and came down and told her about that. And the first card I pulled is it's kind of a teal green. Yeah, do you see that? So that's your teal for today. Donna is it works with female and gynecological cancers, which is all teal energy, and every day I think she looks for a teal sign. So how beautiful is that? So the Seven of Raphael is our first card. In a picture, I'm going to show it on camera, but it's like a beautiful garden, and it's almost like a well with a light coming out of it. And it says, time to make a decision. Be clear on what you want and take action, and a need for detoxification. I feel like this is for you, Donna, actually. Maybe you need to detox a little bit. I know you've been going through a lot of stuff. So make sure that you're eating clean and drinking lots and lots of water. I feel like you might be a little dehydrated. For the collective, what this card means to me is if we have a decision to make and we're really in confusion, a lot of times, again, because of our conditioning, we resist the confusion because, you know, we hear it's not good to be confused, right? Well, I think it's great to be confused because that means you're going to change something in your life. If you weren't confused, you'd just be driving the car along, la, 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 la. But when we're confused, we're like, what should I do? I got to think about this. It opens us up to awakening. So when we're confused, we need to detox and go inside ourselves and then take action. When we're confused, don't push it away. The more we push away confusion, it's just going to come back up. And sometimes it comes back up in a sickness or illness. Number 9, I feel like this card is actually for me because I've been purple all week. And I usually am with Saint Germain. You can see my purple cloth. This is an epiphany card. Oh, I was going to show you this card on camera. You see it's a beautiful garden with a well coming out, a light coming out of the well. And then you also have all these other like colors, and they're actually representative of the chakras and aligning. So when we're in confusion, it just means that our chakras are a little out of balance. And if we do a chakra balance meditation, I'm actually going to record one for us on Zencuda. If we do a chakra balancing meditation, a lot of times the decision and the clarity comes. It's beautiful. Our second card for the collective energy this evening is Epiphany. And it has a beautiful angel holding up a lantern. And what I'm getting off of this card psychically is the energy of Saturn. Saturn, for a lot of people, is grandfather time. And they feel that Saturn is time. But I feel like Saturn is really grandmother moon. Because as I elevated in mastery over things in my life, I realized that the lessons and the heavy energy that Saturn brings in is not time. It's not, it is authority, but it's feminine. It's wanting us to look at the boundaries so that, again, we can change them. And so this card really is appropriate tonight for that. And I was just saying that the way to not be confused is to, you know, go quiet and kind of meditate and do a chakra meditation. And this card is Archangel Raziel. And it says, joy through spiritual growth, be a light to others, and answers that come through meditation. So that's clarification on the last card. And this beautiful card has the angel holding up the lantern. It just looks like Saturn to me. It's a beautiful representation of Saturn. And Saturn is very prominent right now in Capricorn, has a lot of conjunctions to other planets, which basically means that it's really deeply showing us our lessons. But lessons not in a negative way, lessons in the form of boundaries, restrictions, lessons in the form of what do we need to look at in order to heal. Not harsh lessons, just like a restriction that's showing us that it's really not our security, it's our restriction. The next card is the Three of Ariel, and this card represents abundance for me. I really do feel for those of us who have done a lot of work in this last decade, and coming into 2020, new decade forms, for those of us who have done a lot of spiritual work and released a lot of things, I truly feel that the amount of abundance that's coming in for us, beginning this year, it's like this year is preparing us, is so tremendous. It's like everything we work towards, we really reap the rewards. And this card has someone looking in this beautiful music box and seeing this beautiful ballerina dance. And it says, do what you love, a time for great personal growth in your career or artistic endeavors, and working with others in a cooperative manner. And the other thing that this energy is going to be bringing in as Uranus goes into Taurus and brings in a lot of the energy of the earth is collaboration. And is it Linda? Oh, that's beautiful. And she said that card's for her. And collaboration and do what you love. And I think that comes natural to us right now because as we were talking about this evening, Chiron in Aries, going into Aries, really wants us to have the strength to be who we're meant to be. And so that's what we need to do, is do what we love to do. So a lot of us are going to be changing careers, finding ways to do things. And Taurus also, when Uranus goes into Taurus, the Taurus energy is about like materialism and earthly possessions, but in a different way. Taurus in the lower octave wants things and possessions. Taurus and Uranus in the higher octave is awakening to the fact of what you really value and love within yourself. So I really think towards the end of the decade of 2027, 2028, where you're going to see people no longer have the need for material possessions. They're going to realize the higher octave of the energy is survival. You have everything you need within. But for a little while, the lower energy can get a little scary once Uranus goes into Taurus, because it's survival. It's survival for the basic necessities. So you may see a lot of things change, especially in financial markets, shortages of things, in the earth energy. I think you're going to see a lot of people start planting gardens, victory gardens, living self-contained lifestyles in their homes. That's going to be a big trend, because Taurus energy in the lower octave is about survival and wanting to, kind of hoard things for yourself. Well, if you're praying Ariel, your energy is coming through tonight, Linda, because this is the king of Ariel. Success, stable, accomplished, and powerful. Your plans are working out very well, professional and financial success, and using resources wisely. This, for me, is a Capricorn male. It's a Capricorn male energy that is around a female who's very spiritually inclined. Look at the angel in back. I feel like this can go two ways. I feel like either someone out there has a Capricorn male or a very strong male energy that is helping them in their career, and you're more of a light, easy energy. Perhaps you are a reader or a healer, and you've recently met someone masculine that is going to promote or help your career. But look very closely, because I also feel this energy can go the other way, and this is someone who wants to steal your thunder. This is someone who maybe is not as sincere as he thinks, and really feels that by being around you, he's going to promote himself. That's the energy that I'm getting. So if that rings true for anyone, let us know. But that's really how I feel. And this card is telling you to use your resources wisely, that you don't need anyone else to help you do what you do. You are a huge light in the world, and you need to take the initiative and know that you're stronger in yourself to do whatever you need to do within. You don't need that extra energy. And the last beautiful card is the beautiful copper energy of the Knight of Gabriel. And I love my beautiful Gabriel. I bring Gabriel in so many times. I feel like he's so around me. Beautiful cherubic energy. Confident, enthusiastic, courageous, and charismatic. This means it's time to take action, great passion for a cause, and instinctively knowing just what to do. And this energy almost reminds me of Joan of Arc. If you look on who I align with very, very much, I was her energy in another lifetime. If you look at this card, I'm going to try and show it on camera. So I don't know why it's like glossy, but it is. If you look at this card, you see a beautiful woman on a horse, and then the angel is behind her. And that's so often how I feel in my life, that there's an angel behind me. And look at the rainbow coming out, color on this card. It's like an orb. It's just the light on the camera. But I almost oftentimes feel like when I have my moments of doubt, I mean, heck, I'm putting together a lot of stuff right now for this new venture I'm doing. And oftentimes I have those moments of like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? And I often just kind of feel the energy behind me. And when I was a little girl, I always used to feel like there was someone behind me, but it wasn't a good feeling because I didn't understand it and I didn't know it. And now I know what that feeling has been throughout my whole lifetime. It was spirit, and they were fully supporting me. And so don't be afraid to look over your shoulder, because there's beautiful energy always supporting you from the universe. And that's what the Knight of Gabriel really brings in for me. And don't be afraid to step forward, because you're not alone. There's always somebody with you. And so if anybody has any questions or comments about tonight's reading, I would love to hear them. And I'm just looking at, I'm just looking at my little note for my closing, because I can't remember everything, and especially when I read, I go into a different energy. I'm just seeing if there's any other energy left here that I need to talk to anyone about. I just got this popped into my head. If anyone out there is thinking about going to school or taking, I just got confirmation, some bell went off over there. If anyone out there is thinking about going to school or taking a new course or class of study, go forward with it. They're telling me that that is really, really good for you. I feel like this course of study is also very philosophical or in a healing modality or some kind. So just know that this is what you're supposed to do. I also feel it's a rung on the ladder for you, that it's supposed to lead you to more. So don't think that this is the end of the journey. I believe this is just kind of, I feel like you're in the middle of a journey. You're very confident at what you want to do, but you're not sure if this particular thing is the right path. And what I'm getting is it absolutely is. Not just the right path because you'll enjoy it and it will bring you to something of abundance, but because it's a part of the right path that leads you to a bigger path, if that makes sense. There's a stepping stone that you must step on and take. This is not the end of it. This is a rung on the ladder. It's leading you somewhere. So take that, someone who's thinking about that. And that just came to me. And this could go on all night because once they start talking to me, they're just going to talk to me. So there's also someone out there who's like kind of scared. I'm getting a feeling of fear. Someone who is just recently thinking about, don't think about the future so much, whoever this is. You're thinking about the future in terms of fear and fearfulness. Don't bring that in. Your future's looking pretty bright to me, baby. So if there's somebody out there who's worried about losing someone or recently did lose someone, either through a breakup or a death, no, meant to be. You're going to step into a beautiful energy. And I'm going to tell you, as someone who's lived like a cat with 9 lives, usually the thing that we think is the worst thing that can ever happen to us, not to be flip about it, but usually turns out to be one of the best things that ever happened to us. So try and flow. And I know that's really hard when you're in pain, but try and flow. A lot of heavy kind of energy tonight, and I felt really light energy coming in. I also feel like there's someone out there who's embarking on doing this. Like, and when I say this, I mean there's someone out there who maybe plays around with cards and reads tarot a little bit, and they want to do this now and go out there and do it, but they're afraid. They're thinking that they're not supposed to. Go out there and do it, because you definitely have the gift, and you're supposed to do that. So I think that was everything. They're asking me to pull one more card for confirmation from my soul deck. This is a culmination of the energy for tonight and where it's going to lead us. I can't believe I've been on for an hour. I feel like I've been on for 10 minutes. But see, when you do what you love. I'm just going to pull a card out of my soul card deck. These have no words on them. I read them psychically, and I love these cards. And wow, this card just came up for me. I'm going to pick 2. Look at that, full moon in community. Beautiful. And this is what I wanted to talk about also. The energy right now is for community, and that's why this is just like, if you could have a card for the super full moon and having a gathering on Facebook, I think this would be the card, right? So maybe I should just leave it at that energy tonight. But I can't. I have to pick one more card. So anyway, this is really big time for communities. So, you know, go out there and meet people and be in gatherings. You know, there's that old saying I always think of, when 2 or more are gathered. So this is the last card of the evening. We're going to close the circle. Does anybody have anything to add or comment about this? I like doing these readings online. Okay, our last card. This to me, I don't know why, as soon as I saw this card, I felt Jesus. Oh, I see the fish now. Yeah, Jesus energy. This is Jesus. The card got dropped. Sorry. This is to me Jesus energy, and it's very much, I think, JC, as I like to call him. Got the dropsies tonight. I feel like JC, as I like to call him, is always around us. He's definitely always in my home. And he is also guiding us forth. This is very much the energy of spirituality. Look at those beautiful fish. Abundance, abundance, abundance. We have so much abundant energy in this world right now if we use it correctly. And what I'm going to say in closing, before I do close, I just want to say one thing. I need some help from all of you. I am creating a YouTube channel, and you really can't do a lot of the things you want to do on YouTube until you have at least your first 100 subscribers. So if all of you could go on YouTube, type in the search bar Zencuda with an E, Z-E-N-C-U-D-A, you'll see my logo come up. Please subscribe to my page. I need 100 viewers in order to really put out some cool stuff that we're going to do. Eventually, these videos will be live streamed on YouTube. So I need you guys to go and definitely subscribe to that page so we can kick off our community, because I think this will be really beautiful for you. Well, thank you, Linda. And if you haven't already, please like our Zencuda page as well. So I just reading my notes. So in closing, I wanted to say that the energy of Chiron going into Aries Aries is ruled by Mars. So if you're looking at your charts, don't just look at where Aries is in your chart. Look at where Mars falls in your chart too. Because whatever house Mars goes in through this next 7 years, that'll have a lot of influence on where Chiron is working in your chart. For instance, like the 4th house is family. Hi, Suzanne. So like, thank you so much. So the 4th house is family. So, and home. So if Mars is in your 4th house, that's where the Chiron influence is going to take place right now. Right now we have Mars in Taurus, but we need to look at where it's in your natal chart. Hi, Elisa. I haven't seen you in so long. I hope things are going great. So, so definitely do that. And as the months come by, I'm going to have some astrology classes online for us and things like that. So I wanted to talk about that with Mars. And if I had to put like this energy in 2 sentences, this is what I would definitely say is the best thing to do. Get clear about what your own terms are as far as loving yourself and being who you are. And what I mean by that is it's within our own power, within ourselves to, okay, Susan, I'll pick one for you. It's within our own power and within ourselves to really become who we are meant to be, not everyone around us. And that's really hard to do. And I know your ego is going to tell you, no, I don't care what anybody thinks, I'm me. But are you demonstrating that in your life, or is that just something intellectually your ego is telling you? That's the energy now. So, Susan, I'll pick a card for you from, are my soul cards, because those are the cards I really just feel drawn to for you. And then we're going to close tonight. I have to tell you who won the beautiful basket that we were raffling off last week. So please like, share, and tag this video. Tag a friend. Love this, so accurate on my intuitions. That's great. I can't, the chat went up and I can't see who said that, but Susan, this card is for Susan Gonzalez. Okay. Oh, Susan, I feel like you've been doing a lot of thinking. You're really in your head. I don't know if you're an air sign zodiac-wise, but I feel like you're really in your head. You've been meditating a lot or trying to, but there's a lot going on here. I'll show you the card. I feel like you are going to come into a decision about something very quickly. I feel like you're being pulled in 2 different directions. I also feel like you're opening. Crown chakra especially, you have the ability to receive messages. You need to stay in the quiet, which is very hard for you. Virgo, yes, I have. Yeah, I feel like you're like, woo! And this moon is 0 degree of Virgo. So depending on where your sun is in your chart, this is very influential for you. This is an ending and a new beginning. Trust the beginning. I think that you need to go, I'm just getting psychically, you need to go into the heart. You see all the color around the head? You need to go into the heart. That hand that's pointing downwards into the chest, it's like divine spirit saying, bring it down. I did a video a few videos ago about when I get really in my head, I say to myself, bring it down, because I need to go into my heart. And I feel like you're trying to find answers here. We never find answers here. Every answer to everything that happens in life is found here. Heart and soul, solar plexus. Because unless we truly experience and feel something, we can't realize what it is. We will never realize what it is here. It has to come down and bring it to here. So just know that. And when you do that, you quiet the mind. Whatever decision you're trying to make is going to come to you, and it's going to be beautiful. Go into the energy of a beginning. Whatever is ending is a seed for a beautiful new beginning. Things are coming in better. Amen, Donna says, and that is the truth. So that's our reading for tonight. So in the next 7 years, we're going to be building a better us. And this is needs to balance better. Definitely, that's what full moons are for. Linda says, you go, girl, being charged up from this moon energy tonight. I enjoyed this so much. My soul says, I did too. We need to have an in-person circle, because I was so charged up from the moon today, but it was like up and down. Around 3 o'clock, I started yawn. People were in my office at work, and I was like yawning and yawning. I felt so bad. But this is a brand new us we're formulating. This is energy. I know, Linda, you feel it. I know you do. This is building a brand new us. It's building a better human. And this is formidable energy, because we're forming from our heart and our soul. And so that's what we need to stay in. And whatever the planets are doing, whatever the astrology is doing, we merge that. And that's the message of Zencuda. So please like my page, like my YouTube channel. My mission is, over the next decade, that we become stronger in our presence in life, that our lives demonstrate what we really feel in our heart and soul, and we are liberated to be who we really need to be. And thank you so much, Judy. And we honor each other, but we do that by honoring ourselves first. So all of the things that we do in our lives need to demonstrate the honor that we have for ourselves. And that's really important. So do that. And you're welcome, Suzanne. So do that. Please spread the word. I really want to get that YouTube channel going, and I need those 100 subscribers. So subscribe to Zencuda on YouTube. You'll see my purple icon when you go on the page. And like my page on Facebook. And let's start this beautiful community for life and soul support. I love you all. Have a great night. You can always share and play these videos back. Oh, the winner of our basket. I have to tell you that this beautiful basket, which is going to appear on off camera, but this was a basket I made, and I charged a candle and a bracelet in here for the throat chakra so that we can speak our truth. And actually the girl who won this basket, I don't think she's on tonight, but she was on last week. She shared my video, she tagged someone, she did everything she was supposed to do, and then got entered into the raffle. So just so you guys know how it works, when I do these raffles, anybody that likes, shares, and tags a video, their name goes into a special basket that we draw out a name to win the prize, whatever it is. Sometimes it's a free reading, etc. And this basket is going out to Janine Gemelli. So Janine, if you're out there, I have a basket for you. I can ship it to your house. You can pick it up. If you're coming to the Reiki Circle Thursday, you can get there. And this was for Janine. So Janine, obviously you have something that you need to speak up about because you won the throat chakra basket. And in the weeks to come, I'll have other giveaways and things. So please do spread the word. And I love you all. This is the energy that I source my life from. So keep your hearts open, and more so than that, keep them open for yourself. Thanks so much. Have a beautiful evening, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye now.